Most modern growers treat crop rotation as a long-term planning exercise that takes years to show results. Ancient farmers did not have that luxury. If soil declined, hunger followed. What they developed instead was a rotation logic so efficient that meaningful soil improvement could be triggered in a single afternoon. The reason this system worked was not complexity, but precision. Ancient rotation focused on root behavior, residue quality, and microbial timing rather than abstract categories. When applied correctly, soil responds immediately, not because nutrients are added, but because biological pressure is relieved. That is why a 15-minute rotation reset can visibly improve soil structure, smell, and moisture within days. Ancient rotation was built around root depth and residue quality, not crop names. Modern rotation charts often focus on plant families. Ancient systems focused on what happened underground. Shallow-rooted crops compacted the surface. Deep-rooted crops fractured subsoil. Fibrous roots fed bacteria, while woody roots favoured fungi. You see, rotation was really about alternating these effects. To apply this quickly, just identify what has recently grown in the soil. If the previous crop had shallow, fibrous roots, like lettuce or grains, the next planting must have deeper taproots, such as legumes or brassicas. This switch alone honestly relieves compaction and redistributes nutrients without any need for mechanical intervention. The fastest soil improvement came from rotating residue type, not just living plants. Ancient farmers paid close attention to what remained after harvest. Some crops left soft residues that broke down quickly, while others left tough material that persisted. A rapid rotation reset involves removing surface residues that match the previous crop and replacing them with contrasting organic matter. After a grain crop, ancient farmers added green plant matter or legume residues. After leafy crops, they added straw or woody fragments. This shift immediately changes microbial dominance and accelerates soil recovery. You know, legumes were used as biological tools rather than just seasonal crops. They were never planted casually, not at all. Instead, they were deployed strategically to correct nitrogen imbalance and, well, microbial fatigue. Ancient systems often planted legumes briefly, sometimes for only a few weeks before cutting them down and moving on. In modern application, legumes do not actually need to reach harvest, which is quite interesting. A fast-growing legume, planted and cut within a month, feeds soil far more efficiently than simply leaving depleted ground bare. Even in containers or raised beds, this short cycle restores nitrogen balance really quite rapidly. Rotation worked because soil was left undisturbed during transitions. You know, one of the most overlooked ancient principles is, quite simply, restraint. Soil was not turned between rotations. Roots were cut at the surface and left to decay in place. This preserved structure while feeding microbes underground. To replicate this, remove crops by cutting rather than pulling. Leave roots intact. Then immediately plant the next crop or apply contrasting mulch. This alone can transform soil texture within a single season. Ancient farmers used time gaps shorter than modern advice recommends. Modern advice often recommends seasonal gaps between rotations. Ancient systems rarely waited. Crops followed one another immediately to prevent biological collapse. A 15-minute rotation reset involves harvesting, cutting roots, applying the next residue or mulch, and planting immediately. Soil biology thrives on continuity. Gaps create stress. Continuity creates resilience. Mixed rotation was common when space was limited. In small plots, ancient farmers rotated within the same bed simultaneously. Deep-rooted plants grew beside shallow-rooted ones. Nitrogen fixers grew beside heavy feeders. This reduced pest buildup and balanced nutrient demand in real time. Modern gardeners can apply this by interplanting rather than rotating entire beds. The effect is immediate because, well, soil organisms respond to diversity faster than plants do. Pests declined because rotation disrupted underground signaling. Crop-specific pests follow chemical signals released by roots. Repeating the same crop reinforces those signals, you know. Rotation breaks them. Ancient farmers observed fewer pest problems after rotation, not because pests disappeared, but because their underground maps stopped working. Even a single rotation can interrupt these patterns, actually. You know, soil responded quickly because pressure was removed rather than fertility added. The reason soil improved so fast under ancient rotation is really quite simple. Most soil problems are not deficiencies, but rather they are imbalances. Rotation removes pressure that suppresses biological function. And once that pressure lifts, soil repairs itself. This is exactly why ancient systems required less input over time rather than more. So, why do modern soils improve so slowly, while ancient soils seem to recover so quickly? Well, modern systems, you see, tend to rely on correction, fixing problems after they appear. Ancient systems, on the other hand, were all about prevention, stopping issues before they even started. Crop rotation, for example, was proactive rather than reactive. It was all about maintaining balance from the start instead of just fixing damage after it happened. The result, quite simply, was soil that actually improved with use, rather than degrading under it. Ancient crop rotation remains, really, the fastest path to visible soil improvement. This method survives because, well, biology has not changed. Roots still behave the same way. Microbes still respond to residue. Soil still remembers what grew there before. A 15-minute rotation reset does not replace long-term planning. It restores momentum immediately. If this deep historical knowledge changes how you think about soil improvement and time, subscribe to Hydrohaven for more proven techniques rooted in real agricultural history. Share this guide with those who want soil that responds quickly without constant intervention.